Hampshire's chances of making an immediate return to the First Division of the LV County Championship have been severely hit after Essex again had the better of their opponents on the third day of their game in Southampton. Essex resumed on 217 for 2, leading by 168, and so early wickets were needed by Hampshire, who therefore could have done without the night watchman Tom Craddock being dropped behind by Michael Bates, not that it was a regulation chance. They could also have done with the dismissal of O.A. Shah, who batted in a sublime fashion on the previous day in making 124. Rested from a good night's kip, he looked set to go on and on and on, and may have even had the highest score of his career, 203 for Middlesex against Derbyshire 11 years ago, in his sights. What he did achieve was his best score for Essex, which he'd set in Colchester just last month. That was 138, and he eased past that with more classy stroke play. As with the previous day, he was making batting look as easy as sitting down. His 150 arrived with his 27th four, a streaky one this, which flew over the slip cordon. He'd now been at the crease for 248 balls and had hit 114 of his runs in boundaries alone. His partnership with Craddock had now put Essex firmly on top. It was worth 58 runs and was only ended when Craddock on 16 edged David Balcombe to James Vince. Shah wasn't quite done yet. This was for number 28, but it turned out to be his final one. As on 161, he edged James Tomlinson behind just after lunch. He departed with his side on 281 for 4 with a lead of 232. At this stage, Hampshire still had chances. Generally, this summer, the pitches at the Ageas Bowl have got better as the match has worn on, and chasing around 350 would not have been out of the question. Alas for them, with Ryan Tender-Scarter now putting bat to ball, it became clear that they would be chasing more than that. The pitch was certainly playing nicely right now, and Tender-Scarter was making the most of it as he drove Liam Dawson back over his head for a 6. With the total on 318, Essex did lose their 5th wicket. Mark Bettini's hour-and-a-half stay ending on 17 when he nicked Dawson's quicker ball behind. But Essex then switched gears and forged ahead. Tender-Scarter went after Dawson, again hitting him for another 6. Although he was equally comfortable against the pace of Balcombe. He needed only 46 balls to get to his half-century. 7 4s and 2 6s had been struck in an innings which was just about putting a nail into Hampshire's promotion aspirations. The lead had now passed into the 300s. And it was still growing, with James Foster now deciding to take on an understandably tiring attack, which had now been in the field for 125 overs. Dawson certainly wasn't at his happiest as Foster smashed him for 2 more maximums, as the scoreboard now started flicking over at a fast rate. It must have felt as if the bowlers were now delivering the ball onto a road. There was no help with the old ball, which was now in danger of being damaged further as Foster and Tender-Scarter added 89 runs in only 14 overs to take the lead beyond 350. Dawson finally had something to smile about when Tender-Scarter on 69 cut him to backward point, although the celebration from the bowler probably tells you more about the mood his side were in after that onslaught. And it didn't get any easier with that wicket either. Adam Wheater loves a hit, and he wasted no time in planting Simon Katic over the ropes. Foster then got to his 50 off his 59th delivery with an easy single. Now the lead was approaching 400, but there was no sign of a declaration to put Hampshire out of their misery. One man who never gives up, though, is Balcombe. He found the edge of Foster's bat to have him taken behind for 61. He then bowled Graham Napier with a little help from the batsman himself. And next ball he claims his 3rd fifer of the summer by comprehensively bowling Maurice Chambers for a golden. That gave Balcombe his 57th wicket of another excellent season, and he nearly had his 58th and a hat-trick next ball. You will have to work out for yourself why this wasn't given out, as it appeared to be knocking at least 2 of the 3 stumps out of the ground. It was Rhys Topley who had that life, although he was soon dismissed as he edged Dawson to Vince. Essex were at last all out in the 146th over for 475, which left a target of 427 for Hampshire to keep their 4-day season alive. With 20 overs left in the day, the first job for them was to get to the close with all of their wickets intact. But that didn't happen. The 7th over started with the wicket of Michael Carberry, who pulled Topley to Chambers after making 6. Then Chambers picked up 2 wickets in 2 balls in the next over. Bilal Shafayette edged behind to Foster, and Katic followed immediately by nicking to Shah to leave Hampshire in all sorts of trouble on 23 for 3. By this stage, Yorkshire, one of Hampshire's promotion rivals, were closing in on a win against Glamorgan, while there is likely to be a winner out of Kent and Derbyshire at Canterbury, so nothing other than a win here will do, and the chances of that seem to have all but gone. But credit has to be given to Jimmy Adams and Dawson, who batted through the remainder of the day. Hampshire, as they've shown in one-day cricket this year, are a side filled with character, and they will doubtless regroup and give this very difficult challenge a real go on the final day. They'll start it on 73 for 3 after an unbroken stand between Adams and Dawson of 50, but they need to add a lot more with 354 required on the last day.